And let me go across to our legal editor Ashok Bagadia. I think court had made some relevant observation, and I think they have given a date for hearing. Chief, can you take us through?
Well, when the hearing started today in the morning, it's what is interesting is, Karthikeya, before I come to your question, is the point that the Chief Justice of India made the remarks expressing his concern and anguish at the Manipur violence and the video of these two naked women being paraded. And parallelly, what we also saw was Prime Minister Narendra Modi making a statement on Manipur violence in the parliament. So, somewhere the government of India knew that the Supreme Court was stepping in, and at some point in time, the government had to come up with a response. Now, coming back to your question, as the Supreme Court at the moment is hearing a clutch of petitions which have raised the issue of Manipur violence in the Supreme Court. They have sought protection, relief, rehabilitation of the people who have been affected by violence, those who have been displaced, people who are living in camps, people who are affected by violence and ethnic clashes. All these points have been raised before the Supreme Court by the way of these petitions. So far, what has happened is that the Supreme Court has adopted a hands-off approach. They said, we are not going to step in. It's a law and order situation. We'll let the civilian authorities or the state government handle it. But, last night, the video, this viral video, tipped the balance of the Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court of India, the Chief Justice of India, making his mind absolutely clear to the Attorney General and the Solicitor General, who represent both Manipur government and the government of India. And he said, Chief Justice Chandrachud said, that either you do something about it or we will step in. Now, this is a warning. This is basically the Supreme Court of India cautioning the government, saying that do something. We give you time till July 28 to give us a report on what has happened.
Time is the word. Do you think Biren Singh has time? Now, let us talk brass tacks here. He's the person. Does he have more time?
See, he will have time. I don't see him being replaced, but I think now Biren Singh is on a really very sticky wicket. Why I'm saying this is because, it was one thing which was that you were saying that, violence is going on and there were talks of all. But I think there's a reason why they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Ever since this video which has come out, it has shaken the conscience of the nation. It has tipped the balance, as Ashok was saying. The Supreme Court was forced to issue a statement, and so was Prime Minister. And now, the first day of the Parliament is going to be a complete whitewash because of that video. So I think post the emergence of that video, I think a lot has changed. There's a tectonic shift, if I may say so, about the kind of narrative which was being built on. Now the government is forced to. Unfortunately, till now, the Chief Minister or the various other stakeholders are calling, they're saying that, that we took a suo moto action and all. But I find it extremely hard to believe that people wouldn't be aware of such video in existence of such video beforehand. Police lodged an FIR on 18th, which is 14 days after the incident happened. The police knew about the incident. What action will be taken against those police officers? Nobody knows. If the government knew about it, the police knew about it, then the government definitely must be aware of the incident. What stopped the government from taking a suo moto action on 18th itself when the FIR was registered? So, all this taking suo moto action, all this talk of law, we are pained and all, it doesn't cut ice, Karthikeya, and that is the reason why, that video has actually put the government, the state government, on a big back foot. And I think it will be very hard for
you're spot on. You're the only person who said that the government is completely rattled. It is for this reason, even Prime Minister, उन्होंने मणिपुर के साथ बाकी सारे राज्य जोड़ जाड़ दिए.
Absolutely, and I think, Karthikeya, the thing is that people are now very clear about it. Now, ever since the video has come, it has put you in that kind of position where you have to take a stand. You cannot just you can wish away the information, but you can't wish away the video. And it was such a ghastly video that, you know, that it has put a spotlight on all those women organizations also, and people who are like, you know, who are part sitting there. It has put the spotlight back on the Manipur police of why they failed to take action, why no FIR was lodged in the first 14 days. How was the mob able to pull those women, their family, literally snatch them from the hand of the police? I don't think that, you know, now Manipur police or the state government can try to justify what happened at that point.
Seeram Rajesh also joins me. Seeram, horrifying visuals, horrifying video. The parliament stands disrupted. The statement has come out from India, the joint opposition. You know, at least MPs can sit back and discuss. And secondly, it took the government of Manipur more than 60 days to nab a criminal after there was a public outrage in the country.
Yeah, Kartik, this video actually is about how our sisters are actually very undignifiedly attacked and raped, and this we all condemn it. From yesterday also, I myself have been really traumatized. My wife and every Meitei or every community across the people who belong to the humanity. This is not acceptable, and we all should join together to condemn such kind of act. And even in the Manipuri society also, many of the Meitei fraternity in Delhi, like Delhi Meitei Forum or Heritage Society, and all the Meitei civil society group in Delhi join together in condemning this kind of act, and we share the pain and also the kind of thing happening to our sister. We all have to join here because this is a very horrifying video we have all seen. And of course, in the last 70 days, the communities, in fact, they are forced to arm themselves, they are forced to fight themselves, they are forced to, protect themselves when the government of India, the central government and state government completely fail to protect the innocent people, including women, children, and the senior citizen and across the community, because the government have not taken any action, and they are allowing to actually continue such violence for the last 70 days. Unfortunately, because of this video and the trauma that our sisters have faced, the Prime Minister was forced to speak. Otherwise, he will not be speaking on the issue of Manipur in the last 70 days. The mothers of Manipur, the Meitei women of Manipur, there is not a single day that protests have not been conducted in Manipur. In every day, there is a protest asking the government of India to bring peace in Manipur, to take action of all the across the vested interest group who wanted to break peace of the communal harmony and the coexistence, but the government have not taken any action. The government are rather to make friends with those vested interest group who wanted to divide, irrespective of the cookies or Meitei. Rather, the people are live as a helpless forces. To look at these visuals, and many of the women are on the street saying that enough is enough, and they are protesting. But for this specific issue, I would appeal to all the community, and particularly to the Meiteis and the women's group of all the communities, that we all need to stand together, and we should actually follow the same kind of punishment, that whenever such kind of crime, rape happen in Manipur, irrespective of whether it's a war or in other, that those people should be dealt with a hard punishment. And even we should condemn that the state government have taken so many days to take action against such incident. And again, this is happening in between that the nearly 70,000 Indian armed forces are deployed in across the Manipur. So not only such kind of the violent, such kind of videos, but also in many places, the the armed with uniform are allowed to have protests in Churchampo. There is no state, there is no government, there is no FIR, because the militant with a uniform, with AK-47 rifles, with snipers, they were allowed to have rally in Churchampo by the state government, by the central government, under the watch of the Assam Rifle and the central forces, and you're allowing such kind of rally in Churchampo. But two days back, in plain in valley area, the mothers wanted to organize a protest demonstration, peaceful protest, but they were actually not allowed. Even curfew was imposed. In Taubal, in many places, the protesters were heavily attacked by the armed forces, by the rapid action police forces. This has been happening. My only submission is that this is actually the failure of the central government and the state government, that the central government have not taken action, appropriate action, and this kind of move are allowing to continue in Manipur. I wish that, and I believe that this is the only case happen, such kind of crime happen. But we really don't know that there are many rumors are happening. Then once the internet is open, many other incidents might have also coming out. But we pray that such kind of heinous crime should not be happen to any other community, irrespective of the whether she belong to a Kuki or Maitai or any other community, because this is beyond the community.
देश में ट्रेन के एक्सीडेंट हुए हैं. People like Lal Bahadur Shastri and Madhavrao Sindhya resigned. Madhavrao Sindhya was in our lifetime.
Absolutely.
I was in school. Lal Bahadur Shastri was in my father's lifetime. He must have been, reading in newspapers that this has happened. I mean to say, we have public figures who have put in their papers moral responsibility. Why shouldn't that apply to Biren Singh? Whatever may the political compulsion be. अगर भारत है तो भारत राजधर्म से चलेगा ना. Moral beat है.
Certainly, Kartikeji, the chief minister has to take moral responsibility in the first place. And the first step he could possibly do is step down from the post of chief ministership. And that has been the demand of not just the Kukis, but I think a larger section of the Meitei communities have also demanded his resignation. All the tamasha, all the drama that we see on that particular day when his resignation letter was torn down in front of the crowd, that was used as a scapegoat, where the made-up IPs played an important role. Now, coming back to what I have just shared in the earlier comments that I made, the several FIRs that have been filed.
Mr. Dongle, this is so disturbing.
Yes.
मुझे समझ में नहीं आता how will parents send their girl child to school now? अभी हमने
Right,
you were
Kartikeya.
part of that show.
Right.
We were talking about it. You recall?
Yes.
Me and Brijesh, we
Yes.
were talking about that कि बच्चे स्कूल जा रहे हैं. कौन भेजेगा अपनी बेटियों को स्कूल?
Certainly. I mean, I being a research scholar who is doing research on education and also have particularly focused on my state Manipur, which the thesis, my PhD thesis is also based on Manipur, trying to understand the Hill Valley education system. Now you rightly point out, how can we send our children to schools? And most importantly, although there was likely, I think it was last month, if I'm not mistaken, although there was likely seemingly peace returning to the state, nevertheless, the real issue has not been addressed, and that is why violence continues to take place in the state of Manipur. Now, education, not just in the hills, but also the valleys. I think most of the schools are now closed again, whereas in the hill areas, none of the schools are open. And as I've said in my earlier presentation also, that most of the schools in Churichandpur and colleges are used as a relief camp. You will find internally displaced people filling up all those places.